cons for each side. I guess we could just show how we got here. It's from the Italian game where white put a bishop on e3 and then black put a bishop on e6. So we see that this is all standard. That's why I'm fast forwarding these moves that I played many, many times. Bishop came to e6, we saw a trade, and white put a bishop on e3 to shut down the bishop on a7. So Tanya, in the live position, what I was about to get at and ask you, in fact, is with queen b3, the pawn on b7 is not under attack, just to show that if you make some random move, that the queen just gets trapped over here. So it's not about individual threats so much as is finding a plan. What is it you like about Ding's position? What do you like about Prag's position? Because to me, if I just saw this position for the first time, I feel like I would think it's very equal because the pawn structure is the same.
And it is probably equal, but very often in chess terms, when we say equal, we might think that this will end in a draw, but this position is anything but that. It still has so many factors to play for. As you mentioned, this pawn structure makes it super unique. The reason why players are happy in this Italian to trade off the bishops and get these double pawns is because of the squares that they control in the center. Robert, for black to be able to control the f5 and the d5 square, and for white to make sure black's knights never get into f4 are important points. What I like is I'm already on the open file on f8, and white always has to be careful of keeping that knight defending. Out of nowhere, we've often seen sacrifices like imagine knight h5, rook f3 coming in if white ever got rid of that knight on f3. Very dangerous for white to handle this position with the king open. The other point to note, as you pointed out, is that the b7 pawn cannot be picked up because your queen gets trapped. And one of the big ideas for the players in this is to try to break in the center. Now that you've reinforced it with this pawn structure, you want to get in d5. White wants to get in d4 at the right time. So even though the eval bar currently gives an equality, it's a very dynamic position. And once it opens up, it's anyone's game. As far as how would we conclude the opening outcome, I would say that Pragg should be happy with the way the opening's gone. I think he's feeling comfortable in this position. It's a long game. Also, Ding has no reasons to be not pleased with it because the game is what he wants. And it's going to be fun to watch this one, but this is going to be slow to develop.
It certainly will be. And, well, Pragg...
something like this. I mean, I assume this is still winning.
Hard to disagree.
But he's doing the right thing by not even allowing any of that. Yeah, somewhere around here, it's. There was a kind of a funny exchange in chat, which shows that some people really have not seen me talk about chess very much, because I in that story, I think against Gelfand, I mentioned my strong desire to resign after I blundered that thing in the opening, and somebody said, Peter's laugh for early resignations, heart emoji, and somebody said, Peter, ban him. And I thought, that is very wrong. Why I told the story in part. Yeah, like, I know this about myself. Anyway, it looks like the PGN parse error, which comes before the resignation. Yeah, there they are on your screen. Ending the game. Yeah, a difficult defeat for Ding, who, played about as safely in the opening as you can imagine in a Gioco Piano. This is about as uneventful as you can get. And in part, you normally do this with white